Here we are. There's more than one of us this week. Hello, folks. Apologies for last week. I was in London. Steve was. We sent out a missing report for Steve, and Lee looked after the show. Thank you very much. We might have a guest this week. We don't know, and we're not too sure what's going on with that. But folks, it is Thursday. Lock your fantasy football teams in. It is going to be a cracker of a weekend. We're going to have a bit of a chat, see what we've all been doing over the last few days, last week, and I'm going to go straight into it. There's going to be some shocking results. There's going to be some surprises. There's going to be some. We knew that would happen, but let's get to it. So, what have we been doing, boys? What's been going on?
Oh, well, I've been busy. I'm, as I said at the beginning of this sort of start of this podcast. I've been trying to set up the Cats Juniors page, and Cats Juniors sort of or the academy for the Cambridgeshire Cats. So I've been busy doing that in my personal time. But I've been enjoying a lot of the NFL results just lately. The Eagles are 2-0, so I think we're doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, Eagles. I tell you what, we both know that both of them teams have a relatively good offense, but for me that was a bit of a battle of the defense. Both defense balled out to keep the score that low. But we'll get onto football in a bit. Steve, what have you been up to, mate?
Not a lot, mate. Just working on side stuff, graphic design work, basically. Obviously doing some stuff for the site as well as my personal use. Just watching and analysing all sorts of NFL stuff.
Yeah. I mean, look, it was a good weekend. I mean, this time last year I was working an extra job for a bit of extra cash. Don't need to do that this year, and thoroughly enjoying my Sundays. I was in London. I had a wedding. I drank far too much red wine. Couldn't get me off the dance floor. Did the Harry Potter tour while I was there. That was good.
I did see that. Yeah,
it was very. It was very expensive. It was a little bit too costly, but such is life. Such is life. So
are you a big Harry Potter fan then? Are you?
I am. Do you know what? I'm a nerd anyway. I've got like a Star Wars sleeve. I do love Harry Potter. I bought the Gryffindor jumper.
What did you?
60 quid for a Gryffindor jumper.
You may as well got another jersey for that price.
Do you know what? I've got a few that I'm going to get framed when the wife says it's okay. But
did you do the whole sorting hat thing as well to find out what house you belong to as well?
I already know what house I belong to, mate. Gryffindor. None of this Slytherin. Shh. Can't swear. We're PG, folks. We're PG. Right. Let's get to week 2. So week 2 saw, for me there was some shocks. There was some brilliant games. Just that quickly, is it obviously people watch Red Zone, but is anyone watching the Channel 5 streams? I think it's great.
I haven't actually caught up with that yet. I mean, is it? I was waiting to hear sort of people's thoughts and views on it, but how are people finding it?
I mean, I think it's sound. David Leary, we were Lyman dancing freeze. That must be. Listen, just on this comment. Listen, I'm a brilliant dancer when I've had 3 bottles of red wine. I'm an even better dancer when I've had 3 bottles of red wine and about 15 Jaeger bombs. I was paralytic, and the next day I had to go theme park at the zoo, and wasn't for it. There was some absolute brilliant games, but for Channel 5's coverage, David Leary, I think we were chatting the other day. He used to play Britball.
Colchester Gladiators, and I think he also had a stint at Ipswich as well.
Which is brilliant. I met him. Oh God, 2012. He was a cracking guy. He always has been. But no, I think the Channel 5 coverage is great. The reason I like it is because I went to go pay for a Discovery subscription last night, and I pay for Now TV. So Now TV is like for the Sky Sports, it's like £30 a month. For me to watch European football, it's an extra £30. It's £60 a month. It's just all getting too costly. So I like a free alternative. Well, TV license, but no, really good. I really recommend it. they had some good little games on there. It was good. It was interesting. Just don't like adverts, and obviously they have a few adverts. That was it. But apart from that, it was good game coverage. And yeah, look, we're gonna get to it, folks. Gents, from at one point, I want you to tell me what you think your game of the week was, and please say that on the game that we're going on. Okay. So, week 2, we're going to start off with the Packers, which I think Steve or Lee said they can see them winning the first 8 games. The Packers won 27-18 against the Commanders. The only person to pick I thought the Commanders would win. I was proven wrong. Would you believe it? Shock. You two picked the Packers. Let's go, boys! Someone, Lee, Steve, any? What
Yeah, so it was me. It was me who mentioned this. They are
Yeah.
the under. The dark horse of this competition. They are going to be in the postseason contending, and I've got nothing I've seen nothing that has sort of changed my mind in that. They are doing everything right: offense, defense, special teams. They are looking the complete package, and looking at the schedule, going forward, I think it's a long time until they're going to concede their first loss. I don't know. What do you think, Steve?
It's exactly what I think. Like I said, I can see them going 8-0 if they carry on and no one gets injured. Their first loss, I reckon, probably Eagles week 9.
When are they playing the? What?
And I think until
when are they playing the Broncos?
then.
What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
I don't think they are before then. I might be wrong.
A great comment here. Giants Dallas game was fire. We will get to that. It's next, by the way. Coincidentally, 71% of the public voted for the Commanders. So, it's always interesting this close to the season because people will make assumptions based on last season because the Packers didn't look particularly great last season. They were good, but they weren't great. So yeah, that's that one. Let's move on to the next one, which Coach Russ wants us to talk about. And I watched this game. This game was absolutely brilliant. The Cowboys, them boys, 40. New York Giants, 37. The public vote, 73% of the vote was for the Cowboys. And I'm not really happy here because I picked the Giants and you two picked the Cowboys. So 2-0 after 0-2 after 2 games. It was a brilliant game. Look, I'll be honest, both defenses were don't swear. Weren't great. But offense-wise, they look so much better. And look, I know Giants got beat, but I feel like they can carry that on to the next game, which we'll talk about later. Any thoughts, gents?
So,
on stage.
Yeah, this was this was the game of the week for me. This is it. This was the game that shocked us all. I think with the performances from both teams. There's been lots of questions and speculations over whether Russ can still cook, and I think he absolutely managed to show that in this game. Some of those throws he was throwing down to Malik Neighbors was on the money. I mean, the one where Malik Neighbors called that in the end zone. Oh, he kind of still has it in my eyes. He really does.
There's a comment there. Russell Wilson was about to lose his job, and boom, he has the game of his career. He just didn't want to do that when he played for Denver Broncos, though, did he? Steve, your comment, mate.
Yeah, it was a wildly entertaining game. Obviously, I picked the Cowboys, but I didn't remotely see it being that close of a game. Yeah, the defense showing was a bit poor, but I don't know. It sort of made it look like Russell Wilson has a bit of something still. Very intrigued as to what made you choose the Giants for that game after week 1.
I didn't think the Cowboys were that great in week 1.
Really? I mean, the performance they put on the Eagles kind of demonstrates to me that there was a lot more there than I thought. I thought after the sort of Michael Parsons, to Green Bay, I thought that was a camel that's going to break the back in this Cowboys team, and somehow somehow they are still looking relevant.
Look, it's still very early on. Again, I still think the Giants will take a lot into week 3. But look, let's move on. This one was a bit of a mad result because every single one of us picked the Steelers to beat the Seahawks. So did 70% of the public vote, and the Seahawks shocked everyone. They won 31-17. Convincing win, 2 scores. Nothing else really much to say on it.
Yeah, I think everyone says week 1's a lie, and I think that proved it in this game. The Seahawks, performed a lot better than what we were expecting, and I think Steelers. This again, the Steelers were lying to us in week 1. I think there's potential there, but
it's still clicking, isn't it? Really, though, like for a lot of these teams, you kind of know where they're going to be after week 5, week 6, unless it's the Raiders, which they're just going to be absolutely awful. But yeah, Steve, any thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I was dumb enough to leave Aaron Rodgers as my QB1 on fantasy in 2 different leagues, so it wasn't a bad showing. I did have worse people on the bench, but yeah, I thought he was going to have at least a handful of good games at first.
At least you didn't pick every player from one team. By the way,
saying that your quarterback isn't Bo Nix.
I know someone
because you were up against me.
Yeah, I don't
in
know
the fantasy.
I think it just. I think I've selected it to like auto change, which I need to not do. So just so people know, we've got a fantasy football league with us, and with some very nice people. And Conlon's not nice; he's lovely. We might publish it at some point. The plan is to invite everyone from in that fantasy football league onto the show. FYI, folks, we would love all of you to join in. So if any of you want to come on one week, please drop the page a message, drop me a message, drop any of the lads a message. We'd love to have you on. We want to know what your Brit Balls team is doing off season. We want to know what your plans are for next season and the off season. We'd love you on. Right, let's move on. I'm going to make this one short and sweet because we all expected it. We all picked the Rams, so this is the first one I've got right. We all picked the Rams to beat the Titans, so did 100% of the public vote. Wow. And the Rams won 33-19. Business done. Just a day in the office. I don't know if anyone's got anything else to say on that. No, let's move on to the next one.
I was just going to say Cam Ward is a potential for the future, but he's not right now. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Moving on to the next one. We had the goddamn Jets against the Bills. We all picked the Bills to win. We were right again. So we're 100% of the public vote, 30 points to 10. I'm worried about the Jets this season. There's just been a consistent trend of them just being not great.
Yes.
Steve, anything?
Well, I mean, I saw a stat post the other day about how the Jets are the only team to not, in the last 20 years, to not even make a playoff win.
What?
Like it's been that consistently long.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think the Jets fan base is absolutely being punished with sort of their playoff drought at the moment. And Justin Fields, he looks the part. He looks better in a Jets uniform. He's performing better, but something just not clicking for them at the moment.
Considering where that team's based, they should be like. If that team was just like 25% better, because that could be very much a tourist club. Having people go to New York, like the Giants and the Jets, they should have that. Do you get what I mean by that? In terms of, they should just be doing so much. It baffles me how they've been so, and the Giants as well, because the Giants haven't been great for a long time. It baffles me how they've both been so poor. But look, we're going to move on because this next game was a very, very good game to watch. I watched this on Channel 5. So the Dolphins against the Pats, we all picked the Pats, and it was by any means a big, like a easy game. The Pats won 33-27. 85% of the public did vote for the Pats, but I thought the Dolphins played great. I know both teams aren't up there in terms of where they want to be, but the game as a neutral fan to watch, there was some brilliant plays. Cracking game. I don't know if any of you managed to catch it.
Well, I was watching Red Zone, so I sort of saw all the highlights from all the games. Yeah, I think this was probably the game of the week for me, like in the hardest to choose.
Yeah, I would agree with you that I'd second you on that, mate. I would pick this as my game of the week as well, because I can't pick the Broncos because we got beat. But no, look, we all picked that. Let's move on to the next one. We try and keep this an hour show, folks. So apologies. So the next game, again, a very, very, very close game. The Bengals were playing the Jags. I was right again here, as well as Lee. 87% of the public vote for the Bengals, but unfortunately, Steve, you went for the Jags. I can see why you went for the Jags. It's kind of make or break year for them, for a lot of the players, QB as well.
100%.
Any thoughts, Steve? I mean,
Yeah,
don't we play
100%.
violent?
It's very, very much, yeah. I agree in a sense of it's make or break, especially for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And I also went for them because I don't know. I didn't think the Bengals didn't convince me in their week one at all.
Yeah.
There was no, like, that was just sloppy. And I don't think this week was any better. I think it was still relatively sloppy, but
they've got problems though now.
Yeah.
They have got a huge problem.
Yeah. Like, see, I think that's their season done because he's that crucial to their team.
Yeah.
I mean,
it 3 months?
Yeah, I mean, it's a grade 3 turf toe, which, for those who don't know what turf toe is basically varying levels of your ligament, which connects your toe to your heel. Is variant levels of a sprain. Now, level 1 would just be quite a bad sprain. Level 2 is partial tear, and level 3 is a full tear. So his ligament has detached from his toe to his heel, which means, if you think about every time you walk, you're walking, you're rolling onto your toes, and your toes are digging into the ground. And without a ligament, you've got no stability in that toe whatsoever, and the pain is completely excruciating. So for Burrows to have that and to go through the rehab process, it's like I say, it's 3 months. He's out. That's the Bengal season's done. And I think that the biggest problem that they need to face is their offensive line. They're
all line up poor. Yeah. For the QB to have like that quality, he needs as much time in the world. And if you give him the time, we see what he does. We see what he does. Look, we'll go on to more onto him later. I want to try and fire through these results so it gives us more time to talk about week 3. Okay, next up was the team with the worst kit in NFL history. It was the Saints against the 49ers. Oh my God, Steve, you're wrong again here, mate. Steve went for the ugliest team in the world, the Saints. To be fair, again, it was a very, very, very close game. 26-21 to the 49ers. 100% of the public voted for the 49ers. So, it's an interesting one. The 49ers consistently, they're not the polished project. They always do pretty well, but they never get quite. Did you get what I mean? The Saints, I just can't look at that kit and not want to throw up.
I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I when I first saw it in week 1, I was just.
We were in Hickories, and I was eating my food. I was like, I can't watch this while they're on.
It's absolutely revolting.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just no.
Yeah. I don't really know what they're going for with it either.
Yeah, no. Do you know what the thing is, mate? Is it? Do you know what? Let's move on. We'll just slate them. I've got to be so careful with my words here. Right. Next fixture. To no surprise at all 3 of us got this one right. Ravens 41, the Browns 17. Same old with the Browns, can we say? I've really not got anything else to say than the Ravens. This was just another day in the office. This was getting the job done. Has anyone got any disagreements? Anything they want to throw in?
Yep. Second week in a row, Henry fumble. That was interesting.
What, mate?
The second week in a row of a Derrick Henry fumble. Considering that man's ball protection, what happened?
Yeah, I think that's something he's going to be addressing quite soon, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it was an interesting fact that Joe Flacco, they brought up a statistic that there's only 2 teams in the NFL he hasn't managed to beat, and that's obviously one of them is the Ravens, and I can't remember who the other ones were, but the fact that he hasn't been able to
The
beat
Broncos,
his old...
maybe?
It could have been, but I don't...
Oh, it's going to be a tough talk in 2 talks. Right, the next result. The Lions absolutely slaughtered the Bears, 52-21. What the hell is going on with the Bears? A few years ago, great team. I don't know how you fix that. That is literally how you polished it. Let's not say the last word. 86% of the public voted for the Lions. As you can all imagine, I got this one right again, as did Steve. Lee, you did it, mate.
I'm hanging on to tailcoats here. I really thought that the Bears were going to, with this new, Ben Johnson from the Lions, was going to show up, was going to turn this team around and sort, Caleb Johnson out.
Oh, sorry, I'm not posting the comments, but Mika, we know the Colts won. We're getting to it in a minute. He's absolutely haunts me, this guy. I've had 1 week away from him on a Monday, and he's on the show. Oh, do I send him an invite link? No, I don't. It's the next one. We'll talk about it in a minute. Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, again, the whole Ben Johnson thing at the Bears, is not living up to the hype.
No, they're not.
It's
There's a dodgy referee decision.
He's just going to keep posting stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just gonna. The thing is, I've got his address. I'll just drive there. It'd be a bit of a drive, but. Yeah. Should we move on?
Move on.
Clearly, we've got people. Everyone on this stream follows this stream because they want to know what's going on with the world's greatest team when it's not down to dodgy referee decisions. Okay, so all 3 of us were wrong this week because of a dodgy referee decision. 86% of the public backed the Broncos. I was disappointed the other 14% didn't, and the Broncos got beat 29-28. It was a stupid flipping decision. I kind of agree with it if it wasn't my team. Bronco, look, defense wise, Broncos defense wasn't our greatest day. We're notorious for having, a cracking defense. Defense wins games. You'll always hear that from a defensive coach. It was a good game to watch. It was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. I still feel like Bo Nix isn't in 4/5 gear. I don't know. I'm just fuming. I thought we'd be like sailing through these first few games. I think that's the only godsend to it. Really was the Chiefs getting beat again. But we'll go into that later. Any comments apart from Mika?
Do you know what? It's again. It was a close game. And I think the shock around this is the way Daniel Jones is performing. I think that is the bottom line here. We can talk about this all day, but he's everyone put him to bed. So the fact that he's still relevant is a miracle. So yeah.
Have you got anything to say, Steve? Like apart from Broncos are better than the Chiefs? You want to say that? No?
Don't think I can agree with that. No. I think it was a good game. There were some questionable choices. There's always going to be when there's get the game that close. I am still bemused by one of the stats I got posted where Daniel Jones went 10 drives without a punt.
That's mental.
How?
That's and again, that's what I think. Yeah, and I have not to say. Let's move on. I have not to say. Let's move on. Right. This next game was a lot closer than what I thought it would be. The Cardinals 27 to the Panthers 22. Panthers for me have looked horrendous for far too long. All 3 of us backed the Cardinals. So did 71% of the public. However, it was a lot closer. Again, 27-22 to the Cardinals. I don't know what to say really on it. I haven't caught much of this game. Cardinals looking good.
I'm just sort of intrigued as to how there's so many one-score games so far this season.
Yeah. Obviously, unless we're talking about like, if we're going to go through it, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 minute, 5, 6, 7, 8 games were more than one score, which isn't too bad considering it's week 2. So no, that's a cracking shout. Look, I really want to talk about this next game because this was up there for game of the week in terms of battle of the defenses. So myself and Lee backed the Eagles to beat the Chiefs. Obviously, for me, there's questions that are being asked about the Chiefs this season. Steve, you're always going to back the Chiefs. I get it, mate. But 20-17, Eagles look great. But I feel like I think in spells the Chiefs look good as well. It was just the defenses on both teams absolutely balled out. 86% of the public backing the Eagles. Eagles did the business. Steve, I'm going to let you go first, mate. You're a Chiefs fan. Go for it, mate.
Yeah, I think obviously we're struggling with the fact we've got absolutely no wide receiver room at the moment.
Yeah, I think you've got quite a few injured at the moment, haven't you?
Yeah, injured or out on suspension for 7 weeks for being idiots.
What did he do?
Hit and run, I believe. But it was like the beginning of last season or something. It was ages ago. I don't know what's going, but yeah. Our running backs don't seem to be doing anything. Like Patrick Mahomes has been our running back 1, or for the first 2 weeks, he's got the most rushing yards.
And he can't run.
It's like Lamar Jackson at the moment.
I think I can run quicker than him.
But I find it also very interesting that the Eagles haven't had a passing touchdown yet.
That's interesting because you're not wrong there. Because my QB stats on Fantasy Football League haven't been great. Yeah, they are they're a more run heavy team, aren't they? And look, I think Lee will agree with me on this. I ain't asked however we score. I'm not asked if it's 20 safeties or as long as my team wins. I don't care. They ain't gonna care. It'll bother them because they've got that professional. People like say it's an ego. It's that competitive nature about them. But yeah, look, we're going to move on because I'm looking at the time and we're nearly halfway through and we're not even bloody starting the next bit. So let's go through these next 3 results quite quickly. We all picked the Falcons. 87% of the public, however, picked the Vikings. The Falcons won 22-6. Vikings just inconsistent as usual. I'm not really, it was more than one score. We're going to move on. We're literally going to go over these next 3 games quite quick, folks. Do apologise. We're a bit thingy for time. All 3 of us back to Falcons. With the next one, very, very close game. Closest game of the week. The Buccaneers beat the Texans 20-19. We all backed the Buccaneers. Of course we did. I'm a Buccaneer myself. Not that Buccaneer. A different Buccaneer. Let's not go there. 75% of the public backed the Buccaneers. And then last one, we'll all laugh at this one if we want. The Raiders got beat 20 points to 9 by the Chargers. All 3 of us backed the Chargers. I do think the Raiders will be better than what they've been. They can't make that many changes and still be as poor as they were last season. Oh God, we've got someone waiting in the lobby here. Is Caden your friend?
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's the guy.
All right, he's coming in. Caden.
Hey, there he is.
It's good
How
to
we
finally
doing,
get
mate?
on with you guys. I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Oh, living the dream, mate. Living the dream.
Absolutely. Just get to talk about some American football, huh?
Yeah. Well,
we've just covered week 1, so week 2. Sorry. So we've just talked about how the Eagles dominated the Chiefs and put it on them. I know you're a Chiefs fan, so
Wow.
I assume you were a Chiefs fan before Taylor Swift.
Since I was born in Kansas in
Kansas. Nice.
There we go.
Nice.
Makes me feel like an imposter now.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Steve was a Chiefs fan after Taylor Swift. He's a big Swiftie, so
Hey, I understand.
Listen, Caden, we'd love to know. First, tell us a bit about yourself, what you do in the football community, and we can go from there.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to. So I first came to England back in 2023, and I got the chance to meet Lee, and Lee's phenomenal. We worked together at the Cats in Cambridge. We worked together for about a year, and then I went and I helped out with East Anglia UEA for a season, and when they were in the Premier, their last season in the Premier, and then I went and I started with the Cats, and I went up, and one of our good friends transferred to Tamworth to the Phoenix, now Coventry, so I went up there to the Phoenix for a season, and then I helped out with University of Birmingham for a year, that following Bucks year. So I got to be around, British American football for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
Absolutely loved it. It's the fastest growing sport in the country. I love your guys' enthusiasm and your passion for the game. And it just means so much to me because, the sport's in such a unique spot in the country. You, these guys are working full-time job. You guys are just doing a live stream on Thursday nights because you love it, right? Not a lot of people do it that way. They don't love it as much as you guys do. And so, unfortunately, I mean, not a, I mean, it was my choice. I decided to go back to school in the U.S. So I'm currently at one of the service academies here. I'm here at Air Force, and I got the opportunity to be an assistant and to get to help out the football team. So we played 2 games in the season, and I helped out all of last year, and now I'm going on my second stint here with the offense here at Air Force.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Lee, I'll let you ask some questions.
Yeah, man, I'm intrigued on how the sort of Air Force Academy is treating you, and and how the games are going. What's been your sort of your biggest takeaway from being able to get on the sideline and see that high caliber of players up close and personal? How has it been for you?
It's an unreal opportunity, I mean, for me, like I said earlier, when I just introduced myself, I'm from Kansas, and as a little kid, unlike in England, everybody's playing footy, they're playing rugby since they're kids. We play football. That's what we do. We play American football, and so to be able to have a career where I was overseas for from 18 to 23 years old, and then come back to the U.S. and really get started in a group of five Division I program football where we put guys in the NFL. We've got 2 guys in the NFL right now, Bo Richter and Trey Taylor, the Raiders and the Vikings. And we play Boise State next week. And as you guys know, Boise
Oh,
State had last year Ashton Genty. So it's a really special for me. I get to work and meet and talk to a lot of amazing human beings. And I just learn a lot. I feel like it's really humbling because you're going from a place where, being in England, I get to help out a lot. I get to make a lot of influence and decision on what goes on. And then I come here to Air Force and I basically know nothing again. I get to be back at the bottom and learn from some of the best. I mean, these guys have done it for, 30, 40 years. Guys, our defensive coordinator coached under Urban Meyer at Ohio State. Coach Calhoun, our head coach, he's the third longest tenured head coach in the NCAA. Um, so it's just one of those things where you get to learn from a lot of amazing people. And for me, I sit here and the funny thing is coming from England before going here, I'm constantly thinking like, why does it no, nobody in England goes from under center because that's all Air Force does is we go from under center. We like to run the ball. And I'm like, man, honestly, if this version of me knowing what I know, wow, went back to England, I'd like, let me take a team and let me just run some triple option under center. And I think you can get pretty far. You got to be pretty disciplined to stop the triple option.
Obviously, Kane, I used to play center, and I'd love nothing more than my QB, put sort of just sliding his hands just underneath my testicles and just smacking that ball into
PG
his
was
hand.
trying to keep it
That's why I
PG.
said testicles.
Oh my sweet
Testicles is fine.
Jesus.
That's what I didn't sweat. I could have said something worse. But to have a center, to have a QB that goes under center is it gives you so much more option. It really does. And when you've got a sort of a pistol formation with the running back and straight behind the QB, you're giving the defense nothing to read. You're not favoring a side, and I think it's having that to it's so advantageous. It's unbelievable. But I take it that's how the Air Force run theirs is mainly under center. Then is it, Caden?
Oh yeah, you see a lot. We've probably gone gun more this year. We're thinking about it more than we've ever have. We just have a couple quarterbacks who can sling it a little bit, and they like to get out in space and move. And it's been really, really nice.
We have a question. How many team practices does the Air Force Academy have? Is logistics a problem?
Okay, so how we're gonna do, I'm gonna call it a walkthrough. I don't really call it a practice. I do think there's a difference. We're gonna have full 4 practices. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're gonna have full 4 practices, and then Friday we're going to do a walkthrough, and then Saturday is game day, and even before the game on Saturday, we're going to do another walkthrough before that game. So, I mean, obviously a lot different. I remember being at Cats and at Tamworth in Coventry for the Phoenix, talking about, hey, how many practice can we get in? You know, we're only practicing 2-3 times a week. Like, can we squeeze in another practice here and there? So to answer your question, we're gonna see each other. We're gonna see the other team 6 times before we even play on Saturday. Every single day in the week, and then even a walkthrough Saturday morning before we actually play on Saturdays.
That's bizarre. That's crazy. But
That's
you know, obviously it's to understand this as well, that you're also, you know, all you guys, you know, playing and coaching, you know, well, especially you, Kate, you know, you've still got your studies to go through as well. So to have the time to do all that practice and to continue with your studies and to, you know, potentially have to you know, work to earn some money, I think is absolutely amazing. You know, you guys are phenomenal.
I have a question. So I know you're a Chiefs fan. Who's your college team? Who's your sport?
That's tough. I'm probably Oklahoma. I'm a Boomer guy.
Okay.
I'm from like right on the Kansas-Oklahoma state line. If you guys know your American geography,
I,
I
I,
wish
I
I could
lived
say.
I lived over there for a while. I was in Loveland, Fort Collins area in Colorado. So
Okay. So you're just 2 hours up the road. We're talking the same lingo right here.
yeah,
Okay,
man, yeah, man,
awesome. Yeah. So probably Boomer.
yeah.
I'm a Boomer all the way. A lot of my
Uh,
friends are.
me for my sins, I'm CSU. It'll be interesting to
That's
see how we.
fair.
It's be interesting to see how we do this year. We've got a really good O line.
Well,
Yeah, be interesting.
absolutely. Well,
So,
if you ever want to, if you ever want to come out watch a CSU game, I get 4 free tickets to every game. So
why you
Whoa,
tell
whoa,
if you
whoa,
ever
whoa,
make it
whoa!
out,
why
Yeah,
you tell me
there's
that?
4 guys right here. You know, we can all tag along.
You
Why
3
you
come
tell
out.
me
Hey,
that?
they're all yours. They're all yours.
Do you know what? I'll keep it dead short and sweet. The family I lived with, I met them on one night out and kept in contact with them, and then I ended up moving
It's
over.
beautiful, beautiful,
Mental,
beautiful.
mental. Right, we're gonna go on to week 3, folks.
Perfect.
So there's 4 of us making predictions. I already have the other guys' predictions, but I'm gonna see if they've got a great memory and they can keep them consistent. So week 3, first game we've got is the Bills versus the Dolphins. I just want to know who you're going for, folks. We'll turn the comments on as well. So we've had a few comments here just before we go into everything. The Bears to beat the Cowgirls this Sunday from Nathan Coates. Injured Brock Bowers didn't help the Raiders. I don't care. Don't like the Raiders. And we're on to the next one. So, folks, I want to know who we're picking for. Bills versus Dolphins. I'm going to go. Lee, who are you picking?
Yes, I mean this is. I don't understand why they're even playing this game. It's going to be a Bills win. Is you know, how many points can the Bills score on the Dolphins? You know, because the Dolphins don't have a defense right now, and I think it's going to be a guess the score rather than who's actually going to win for me.
Okay. Steve?
Yeah, same. But Bills, yeah, I don't know. There's not really a lot to go on with the Dolphins. Tua looks like he's seeing ghosts out there, and as Lee said, the defense isn't really there either. So the Bills are an all-round team, so yeah, there's no question on that.
Okay. Caden?
Yeah, it's the Bills, and it's not going to be close. I'm curious to even know what the spread is for this game because
It's going
yeah.
to be a big spread.
Buffalo.
Big spread.
To no surprise, we're all picking the Bills. Let's get on to the next game, which I think. FYI, I do apologise. I do have the public scores. 92% of the public have voted for Bills. So the other 8% of the public are taking hard drugs. So let's move on to the
I
next
was going
game.
to say, what's
8%.
happened to the other 8%?
Right. So the next one is literally very close in terms of the public vote. The Vikings versus the Bengals. We've obviously got a key injury to the Bengals. The Vikings have got 54% of the vote, whereas the Bengals have got 46%. I'm going to be picking the Vikings. This is one of the weeks where they might have to be a bit consistent, go for the jugular. What are Bengals going to do without the main man? Let's go, Caden. Who do you think is going to win?
Yeah, I've got to agree with you on the Vikings here. I think this is the week that JJ McCarthy, you know,
He's out. JJ
he's out
McCarthy's out.
actually. Yeah.
He's out. We've got Carson Wentz in at QB this week.
Yeah, you're right. My apologies.
Former Eagles,
You know,
and former Chiefs.
I'm still gonna take the Vikings here.
Okay.
I just feel like Jake Browning's gonna come in and play for the Bengals, and they're playing in Minnesota. It's just the Vikings have already started 1-1 on the season. The Bengals are 2-0. I just don't see the Bengals coming in. Joe Burrow is the heart of that offense, and I just don't see them starting off the season 3-0 without having Joe Burrow and Minnesota starting 1-1. And I just don't see Minnesota going down 1-2. Regardless, it doesn't matter who's the quarterback in that offense. JJ, Carson Wentz. Minnesota's going to go put up some points.
We've got Coach Russ saying the Bills. He's clearly very adamant that they're going to win. I think from the last one. Steve, you're up next, mate.
Yeah, I've also gone Vikings on this one. The injury is too paramount to the Bengals, unfortunately. And the Vikings don't have an awful squad. It's just rookie QB last week.
It's getting him to click, isn't it? It's getting yeah. Okay, Lee.
I think it's quite simple. Carson Wentz just needs to find, Justin Jefferson and just let him do the rest. It's going to be quite simple. It's going to be a Vikings win quite convincingly, I think.
Okay, well, again, we've all picked the Vikings on this one. It's going to be interesting to see the Bengals coping, but let's move on. Okay, next game, we've got the Jags against the Texans. 74% of the public have voted for the Texans. I'm going to go with Lee. You want to start this off? Who are you picking, mate? I mean, I know you picked,
again?
but
who was
the
it
Jags
again?
and the Texans.
The Jags and the Texans. Yeah. I think what did I go for? I think I went for the Jags on this one. I went for the Texans.
You did, mate, and we've got to stick with it now.
I think it's going to be a close game. This one is going to be a close game. And if I went Texans, it's probably because I think they're the home team. Are they the home team?
No, Jags are. So I don't know where you've got. You might have been part of that 8% public who've picked the Dolphins. You might be the one on the hard drinks. You might be. Okay, Steve, who are you going for here, mate?
Jags. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm not particularly excited about this game, if I'm honest.
I
agree. Pick London. Honestly, my method has been with this. If in doubt, pick London's team. Go Jags.
Okay, Caden, if you can't understand us, by the way, mate, do let me know, and we'll try and speak slower. Caden, who are you going for, mate? The Jags or the Texans?
I'm going with CJ Stroud and the Texans. I'm still a CJ Stroud believer. I just don't believe in the Prince. I can't see the Texans starting off 0-3, and I know it's London's team, but the Texans are just better. They're just better defense, better quarterback, and this is really Trevor Lawrence's year to prove that he can play. And he's only got 16 more weeks left, or 15, 16 more weeks left.
Oh, don't say that. You make it sound like it's going to finish tomorrow. I've only just started. Well, look, I'm gonna go for the Jags. 74% of the public again have picked for the Texans. It'll be an interesting game. It's not one that excites me. This next game, we're going to blow over it quite quickly, folks. I'm just looking at time. There's other games that deserve our time. Titans and Colts. 76% of the public have picked the Colts. Hopefully, they get the referees' help again. I'm not bitter at all. I'm picking the Colts and the referee Colts, so I picked for the Colts. Let's be quite brief in this one, folks. Lee, who are you going for?
Yeah, Colts. Colts have got this.
Yeah, Colts as well for me.
Caden?
Colts.
Okay, let's get on to the next one. So we've got the Commanders. We can't call them the name that used to be, unfortunately. They're playing the world's worst team, the Raiders. Sorry, not bitter at all. We've got 94% of the public have picked the Commanders to beat the absolute, I can't swear, horrible team, the Raiders. I'm going for the Commanders on this one. I'm actually excited to see what the Commanders do this season. Last week wasn't, but I mean, the Raiders are just the Raiders. Nothing's going to change on that part, but I'll be going for the Commanders this week.
Would your pick change if Jaden Daniels wasn't playing?
I will be picking the Commanders this week.
Because there's a possibility Jaden Daniels is out for this game. I think he's literally going to be sort of game day assessed whether he's actually going to play or not. But I think even with Marcus Mariota, I think, is going to be the backup for that team. I still think the Commanders have got a better chance of beating a very poor Raiders team at the moment.
Instead of saying State, who are you going to be picking, mate?
Commanders. I mean, at no point ever do I want to see the Raiders win anyway.
Yeah.
But no, the Commanders are looking exciting. I've got two of my best mates. I've got a Commanders fan and a Packers fan. So this season, I've got good mates with good teams, and it's exciting to actually watch and see from their behalf.
And more importantly, you've made a new friend in me, and I support the best team ever. So, what more could you want, my friend? What
I don't
more?
think I could want the Broncos to win, though.
Caden, who are you picking, buddy?
Oh, I'm going to go with the Commanders.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go on to the next one, which will be a bit interesting for Lee. Lee's licking his lips. Okay, so the next game is the Eagles versus the Rams. I think this is going to be a belter of a game. Who knows? The Eagles might throw an actual touchdown instead of run play. Ooh. I've actually picked the Eagles this week. So 90%. Oh, FYI, 94% of the public did pick the Commanders against a rubbish team. 90% of the public have picked the Eagles to beat the Rams. I don't think it's going to be as that one-sided as people are thinking, but I do think the Eagles will win this. I'm going to go for Caden. Who are you picking first, buddy?
I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going with the Rams.
Ooh.
Sean McVay's a better coach. I think with everything that happened last week and on fourth downs and, the quarterback sneaks, I think that the league is definitely has talked about it this week. And I think you're going to see LA go into Philadelphia. And like you said, it's going to be close. And I just think Sean McVay is going to come out on top.
That's an interesting shout. Okay. Steve, we're going to go for yours next. Lee, I'm saving you to last.
I think as Kansas City fans have been bitter, both going for Rams this week because
just a wee bit.
Got it.
Just okay. We got two for the Rams. Lee, you're up, mate.
Do you know what this? I mean, I'm always going to back the Eagles, but I think the other two guys are absolutely right. They have some severe talent on their defense. Jared Verse, is just absolutely wrecking offensive lines. You've got the rookie, what's his name? Landman, I think his name is. He's as a linebacker, he is just punching balls out left, right, and center, and he is absolutely showing up. This is going to be a lot tighter than obviously what the public have sort of predicted there. I think this is going to be a very tight score, but I really do think the Eagles are just going to edge this with a few points.
You're picking the Eagles then. Okay. That's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to try and go over these next three games quite quickly, folks. We've only got about 12-30 minutes left, and there's some great games to talk about. Panthers, Falcons, 78% of the public have picked the Falcons. The other 22% were clearly on hard drugs. I picked the Falcons. I just think the Panthers don't look great this season. I think the only wins you'll see from the Panthers will be against the likes of the Browns and the Raiders. So I've gone for the Panthers. Lee, who are you picking, mate?
Yeah, Falcons all the way.
Steve?
Yeah, Falcons for me as well. I think they're the best squad.
And Caden?
Give me the Falcons.
Okay. Next one. They fell far from the falls of grace. The Patriots against the Steelers. 92% of the public, strangely, have picked the Steelers to beat the Pats. I can understand that, but if you look how the Pats played last week, I've actually picked the Pats this week. So I'm part of the 8% who's a bit mad. Caden, are we going for Patriots or Steelers?
Give me Pittsburgh. I'm going with the Steelers.
Okay. Steve?
Yeah, I've gone Steelers as well.
Yeah, of course you have. Lee?
Yeah,
I'll fight you all. Okay, on to the next game. We've got the Browns against the Packers. I don't know what 25% of the public are smoking, but it must be strong. 75% of the public are backing the Packers. I just can't see the Browns beating the Packers. Listen, if you ask my wife, I've been known to be wrong every now and again. But I just can't see the Packers getting beat by the Browns. I'm picking the Packers. Lee?
Yeah, Packers.
Like I said, they're going 8-0, so they got to win this game. The Packers.
He's backing that, any. And finally, Caden.
Give me Green Bay.
Okay, we've got 7 games left, so we might run over a little bit, but we'll be fine. Okay, so the next game, 86% of the public have backed the Buccaneers to beat the Jets. I'm picking the Buccaneers here. I think they look good. Great, not yet. Time will tell. I just think the Jets look poor. I'm going to go for Lee. Who are you picking here, mate?
Yeah, I think, like we said, Justin Fields is out injured. He's in concussion protocol, and I think who have they got starting? QB that's been around forever, played on loads of teams. I can't remember his name. He's in there this week, but I can't see how Baker's going to get overthrown on this one. Baker's going to get this with Tampa Bay, I think.
Okay. Steve?
Yeah, some Bucks.
Tyrod Taylor. That was it. Tyrod Taylor. Sorry.
Mr. Injury. This Bucks for me as well. Again, I saw a wild stat that Baker Mayfield in the last 2 seasons has actually been the best quarterback. Most yards and most passing touchdowns. So no one sort of seemed to notice that.
Mate, Bo Nix was better last season. Don't be giving me none of that. Just unbearable. Okay, Caden, who are you going for, buddy?
You got to give me Baker in the Bucks.
Yeah,
Tampa Baker.
I just don't think Jets offer anything at the moment for people to back them, apart from the 14% of clearly Jets fans. Okay, next one. Here we go. The Chargers versus the Denver Broncos. Yes, you heard it. 25% of the public clearly intoxicated when they voted because they accidentally pressed the Chargers button when they should have pressed the Denver Broncos button. No surprise, I'll be picking the Denver Broncos. Let's dust off last week with the referee, that little bribe he got from the Colts. No, look, if I'm being genuinely serious, I think we'll finish top of our group, which might make others in this group not so happy. Defense, hopefully, have got to kick up the arse. And yeah, let's get the job done because I can't be taking another week of Mika giving me crap because the Broncos got beat. Caden, who are you backing this week, the Chargers or the Broncos?
I'm sorry, but I got to go with the Chargers on here. Justin Fields is playing the...
Let me just kick Caden off this stream. 1 minute. Why do you think that, Caden? Why are you breaking me out, mate? Did you hear that,
Chargers
Caden?
playing the best football they played in, since Harbaugh's got there last year. They're letting Justin Herbert stretch the field now. They're getting to play more of a total offensive game. They're not just running the ball. And I mean, you saw that when they played Kansas City week 1. And I think they're just going to keep rolling and building on the success. And they're playing in San Diego. And I love Sean Payton to death. I've been a Sean Payton fan since he was coaching the Saints and they won the Super Bowl back in 2010. But I just got to go with the Chargers.
Oh, looks like we got a bit of it. Steve, I don't know. Got a bit of a mic issue, Steve. A bit of an echo.
Hello, yes.
And you're upside
on my phone call just decided to disappear from the stream.
Well, Steve, if you want to mute yourself up, mate, we'll get you in the next one. I already know who you picked. Lee, me and you were going to fall out here, Lee. Who did you go for?
I've gone for the Chargers. As Caden said, Justin Fields is playing out of his socks right now. He is balling. Harbaugh has done magic with that team. They've sorted the offensive line out. They've sorted the defensive line out, and it is looking dangerous. You're absolutely right. The AFC West is so competitive. However, I think the Chargers are going to top this division.
I'm deleting you off Facebook after this. I'm removing you from MySpace, and I'm never sending you love on Bebo ever again. I can confirm for Steve. Steve picked the Denver Broncos. That isn't me just saying that. We do have our votes in before it. We will publish this either tonight or tomorrow. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We're going to go over this one quite briefly. Let me just add Steve back in. There we go, Steve. You've not missed much. We were just saying that the Denver Broncos are going to finish top of everything, and that's it, mate. So we're moving on to the next one. Okay, so the next one, 87% of the public have backed the Seahawks to beat the team with the world's ugliest kit, the Saints.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's horrendous, isn't it? Like, it literally looks like. Do you know what? I can't say the team it looks like, but there's a Brit Ball team that it looks like, and I'm sure they want to change out of that kit too. So that's all I'm going to say. But I'm going to pick the Seahawks. We're going to go through this one quickly. Lee,
Seahawks.
Caden,
Give me New Orleans for the upset in Seattle.
you really picked that team with that terrible kit.
I'm going to believe that they're not wearing it this week. I'm going to believe in Spencer Rattler. Week 3, Spencer Rattler is going to go in and have himself a game in Seattle.
Watch him prove us all wrong. When they don't wear that kit, they win. That'll be like the biggest hoodoo ever. Okay, Steve, who are you picking, mate?
Seahawks for me.
Okay, well, moving on. So again, 87% of the public voted for the Seahawks. We will publish all this later on. Okay, the next one, the Bears versus them boys, Cowboys. 90% of the public have voted for the Cowboys. The other 10% of the public, what are you on? I've picked the Cowboys. Look, Cowboys are not by no means great where they want to be at, but the Bears just look absolutely awful. So I'll be picking the Cowboys. Steve, who are you going for, mate?
Yeah, Cowboys. I don't really know what's going on with the Bears at the minute, so yeah, the Cowboys look relatively strong.
Okay. Caden?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Chicago. I know I'm shocking everybody.
Why?
Dak's playing the best football we've seen him play in a while, but I just believe in Ben Johnson in that offense, and
Okay.
I know that Ben's not going to let him go start the season 0-3.
Okay. Lee?
I mean, yeah, we mentioned it on the week 2 sort of results. You know, Ben Johnson. I just don't think he's got the team where he wants to get them yet. But he's going up against a really, really good Cowboys team at the moment. And as much as that I hate to talk about the Cowboys in such high regard. You know, they are going to win this game, so I'm backing the Cowboys in this one.
Next one, 49ers against the Cardinals. 85% of the public have backed the 49ers. I'll be honest, I think the Cardinals deserve a little bit more of the public vote. But I've still backed the 49ers in this one. Lee, who are you backing on this one, mate?
I'm going for the home team. I'm going for the Niners.
Steve?
Yeah, I've got Niners as well here.
Okay, and lastly, Caden.
Give me the 49ers.
We're all agreeing on that one. It's about time. Okay, next one is most probably going to be the most disappointing game of the week. We've got the New York Giants against them bloody Chiefs. No, do you know what? I think this will be a good game. This, I think 75% of the public have voted for the Chiefs. Me and my other 24% of the public have voted for the Giants. I think this has actually got potential to be a really, really good game. Giants last week did really well on the offense, on defense not so well. As we mentioned before, the Chiefs, where are the wide receivers? They're either suspended for doing stupid stuff or they're injured. So this week, I'm going to fight you all, and I'm going to pick the Giants. So, Caden, you're up. Who are you picking?
Give me Kansas City, the boys in red.
How do you think it'll go?
I think you're absolutely right, actually. When we were sitting down and talking about it, and I was thinking through, I think that, if Russell Wilson plays like it's 2013, I think the Giants do have a chance if he continues to turn back the clock. But like I said, this is the first time Patrick Mahomes ever lost 3 games straight, and we're talking about the Super Bowl. I just can't see Patrick Mahomes losing 4 in a row. And I can't see the Giants. I just can't see the Giants beating the Chiefs. And yeah.
Okay. I mean, we've got a comment here. Gotta back my G-men and Cam Scatterbo get 100 yards rushing. Kelsey
He
to
had
get 20
negative
yards
rushing
total.
yards the other week. What is he talking about?
Giants secondary have to be on point. Look, it's
They
going to
better be
be
on point.
it's going to be a good one. Lee, who are you picking here, mate? And
Do you know
I
what?
know this is going to hurt you.
I mean, it's Caden.
Hey,
Yeah. I mean, Caden is right. The Chiefs have lost 3 games in a row.
2. This will be the
Basically.
third.
But with this season, I can't see how they're going to go 0-3 this year. Andy Reid is to be digging deep into his playbook, and I think he's going to, Spags is going to be. Yeah, exactly. He's going to be lining up some nasty defensive plays, and I can't see how the Chiefs are going to go 0-3 this year. So for me, I'm going to back the Chiefs.
Okay, got another comment here. I'm in my own fantasy league. I'll tell you what. I'll put my. We'll have to post. I'll post my fantasy football league and I'm on, so you can see how horrendous mine is. Trust me, no one's as.
What you're 0-2.
Mate, I'm gonna be going. I'm not winning anything. I know, but that's the rule. Right. Last by no means least, Steve. Who are you picking, mate?
It's got to be my boys, Kansas City. With both losses have been one scores. I don't think we've been bad on either. We just don't have much of an offense. But as we said, Spags brings it and pulls it out of the bag when we need him to the most. Like last season, we got through most of the season on defense alone. People dropping balls on that, and I can see the defense is going to help us win against the Giants.
Okay, so it's me against everyone. I think the Giants are going to topple the Chiefs. Taylor, the Swifties will be crying tears of Swifty. Last one, we're going to go over this one briefly, gents. I'm just looking at the clock. The Ravens versus the Lions. 65% have backed the Ravens. I feel like this is going to be a good little game.
Be a great Monday night game.
Yeah, but I'm going to be backing the Ravens on this one. I'm going to go with Steve.
Give me this as game of the week before this even happens. That's what I'm saying. Game of the week, this is going to be, I think, if the Lions perform like they did last week. I'm going Ravens, though, but I think it's going to be the best game of the week.
Lee?
I think Steve's right. It's going to be probably one of the highest scoring games of the week. It's going to be
the Denver Broncos scoring 50 million against Chargers. No.
I think it's well. Don't get me started on this again.
Okay, so you're backing the Ravens.
I'm going to back the Ravens. I'm going to back it, but I think it's going to be tight.
And Caden, please.
Yeah, give me Baltimore.
Okay, so there we have it. Week 3 results. We will be posting these up later. It's for me. It's going to be another interesting week because there's some teams we know we're going to do well. There's some teams that still have a chance to kind of impress the public. Caden, are you back over here anytime soon?
I try to come. I came during Christmas time last year. I didn't get a chance over the summer. I could have taken. I actually talked with some of the guys at Tamworth about coming for a month during the summer and just coming out and supporting the guys and seeing where I can fit in. But hopefully, maybe during Christmas time, I'll get to come over during the Buck season and get to watch some good football. But no, unfortunately, I'm here for at least 2.5 more years. But I do think about it every day. My time in England. You're talking about earlier how like if I need help to tell you guys to slow down. No, I miss it. I miss it a lot. I miss seeing Lee. I miss seeing a lot of the guys every day. So hopefully I'll get out there sooner than I think.
The only reason I used to say that about the accent was because when I used to go on nights out in Colorado, my friends would come with me, and then I would say something like I'm saying now, and then you'd have about 5 Americans going, "What did he say?" And then he'd say exactly what I'm saying, and then I go, "How can you not understand me? I speak English." Blah 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 blah. And they go, "What did he say?" Oh. So
it's the same language.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. We've had another comment here, by the way. Elite Fives on Saturday should be a blast. That is going to be interesting to see. I would love anyone to send me any info on that. That's good. That's going to be a great one. Caden, thank you very much for coming on. I would love to get you on later on in the season, maybe when we're at the playoffs. I wish you well with all the football stuff you're doing over there. And as soon as I can get permission from my wife, I'll be over for them CSU tickets.
Hey, absolutely, you guys come out.
Yeah. But folks, it has been week 3. I'm really looking forward to where this week's going to go. As mentioned before, I think we can all agree that Monday night game, Ravens versus Lions, is going to be an absolute belter of a game. This has been the Audible. I've been Mateo. Then let's see if we can do this in order. Then we've got below that we've got
Caden.
And below that we've got We did it. That was brilliant, folks. Thank you so much for watching. For if you can share it, that would be great for everyone that's commenting. What we've got here, Hot Fuzz visiting the farmer. Just a quick fact about Hot Fuzz. My flatmate at uni was in Hot Fuzz the movie, but I'll tell you that next week. We've been the Audible. Thank you very much for having us. We will see you next week when the Denver Broncos are 2-1 and the Chiefs are 0-3. Thank you very much, folks. We'll see you next week. Take care.